Giethoorn is a cute village in the Netherlands. There are no roads in the village center. So instead of using cars and roads, the locals and tourists of Giethoorn Village use mostly waterways to transport themselves in Giethoorn Village. Therefore, a comparison with the Italian Venice is often quickly made. Just like in real Venice, you do almost everything here by boat. However, the gondola in Giethoorn Village is called the punter, and the gondolier with paddle has been replaced by a modern whisper motor. It is also possible to hire a punter and propel yourself the old-fashioned way with the paddle. Giethoorn names originate from the first inhabitants' discover of hundreds of goat horns in the marshland, remnants of 10th century flood. Today, no goat's horns will be found here, but the vegetation is quite distinct still. You will find yourself on the edge of the vast lakes and canals, ideal for rowboating, angling, and paddle cycling. The village was created 800 years ago by manually searching for peat. In fact, the locals at the time dug by hand and created a complete channel system. In conclusion, with all this digging, all islands were created. After that, these islands have been connected by 176 bridges for walking, cycling, and the current thatch houses were built on those islands. With all this work, they created Giethoorn Village. Do you know that there's no cars in Giethoorn Village? When the cars arrived in the Netherlands before, but the old village was not suitable for cars and car traffic. In fact, the locals voted to preserve the old. Therefore, the decision was made to leave the village intact, so this created the famous car-free zone of the Dutch village. In conclusion, it's not that locals of Giethoorn cannot afford a car, but that they simply cannot park in front of their door. The thatch for roof is straw or reeds, is made of plant stalks, is like wetland grass. About 100 to 200 years ago, there was poverty in Giethoorn. So if you had a little money at the time, you had your house covered with reeds. In fact, it's the other way around now. In other words, placing roof tiles on a house is now cheaper than having it covered with thatch. However, residents of Giethoorn Village are happy to stick to the tradition of the roof thatch houses. Therefore, they renew their roofs every 40 years. The best way to explore Giethoorn and the myriad of canals is by joining a canal cruise. Local skippers can guide you through the place and show you the most important places in this quiet village. Footpaths beside the canals are ideal for walking or cycling, and many cafes and restaurants are on the land. And if you're interested in water activities, like taking a canoe can be a favorite way to enjoy the canal's scenic surroundings. I hope you liked my Giethoorn video. Thank you for watching. Follow for more.